You said you were going to share with us some good news, Michael.
Yeah. And what I'm about to say, you may not understand right now. The people watching may not understand, but just file this away and put it in the back, put it up on a shelf, and then just come back to it later, okay? We watch Israel because I believe at some point, not tomorrow, but at some point, we are going to see an announcement regarding the Ark of the Covenant, the discovery of the Ark of the Covenant. It will be the greatest archaeological bombshell in all of human history. Now, the Ark of the Covenant has not been seen since 586 BC. The Babylonians came. They besieged Jerusalem. There was nowhere to go. So Jerusalem, and people said, ever since then, where is the Ark of the Covenant gone? Well, the truth is, the Ark of the Covenant is exactly where Jeremiah put it to keep it from being captured by the Babylonians, under the Temple Mount, in a cave. That's where it is right now.
Whoa!
Now, yeah, it's there right now. Israeli authorities know this. We know this, and we know that they know that we know this, and it's there. But but it hasn't come out yet. But at some point, it's going to come out. It's going to be announced, and the whole world is going to learn that the Ark of the Covenant still exists, and it's going to be one of the biggest pieces of news that we've ever seen. Now, I also believe, Pastor Jim and Lori, that this is in the Bible, amazingly enough, and I believe that it is actually in a passage of Scripture that we're all very, very, very familiar with. And let me try to explain this very, very rapidly. Okay, now you guys are very familiar with Daniel chapter 9, verse 27, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, Daniel 9:27, which says, "And he shall confirm a covenant with the many for 1/7." Okay? Now, traditionally, Bible prophecy teachers have taught that who they've wondered who is that he, and almost all of them says, "Oh, that he is the Antichrist, and so that must mean that the Antichrist makes a treaty with Israel, and so on and so forth," and that's what they teach. But the problem with that is, if you look in the original Hebrew language, there's no he there at all. In fact, there's no he in the entire verse of Daniel 9:27. So wherever you see the word he in Daniel 9:27, just cross it out. It's not there at all. And when you remove the word he, it completely changes the value, the meaning of the verse. And so in particular, the first clause of that verse, it's made up of 5 Hebrew words in the original language. The first Hebrew word is the word gaver, which means to confirm, to be strong, or to strengthen. Of course, you only confirm or strengthen something that already exists. The second word is the Hebrew word berith, which is translated as covenant in your King James Version of the Bible 264 times. And the vast majority of those times, it's referring to God's covenant with Israel. Okay? The third Hebrew word that's used in that clause, in the first clause of Daniel 9:27, is rav, and it means many. The fourth Hebrew word is shavua, and it means week or a period of 7. And then the fifth Hebrew word is ehad, which means one. So if you put it all together, a corrected translation of Daniel 9:27 would read something like this. Quote, "The covenant will be confirmed or strengthened with many for 1 week." Now, what would it look like if God's covenant with Israel, in fact, earlier in that same chapter, in verse 4 in Daniel chapter 9, that word, the covenant, berith, is used to refer to God's covenant with Israel in the same chapter. And so, people say, oh, but later in the chapter it means something completely different. No, it means the same thing. So if the covenant, God's covenant with Israel, were to be confirmed with many for 1/7, what would that look like? Well, potentially God could do that in many different ways, of course. But just think about this for a moment. Throughout history, what has been the physical representation of God's covenant with Israel? It's the Ark of the Covenant is the physical representation of God's covenant with Israel. So I believe that one day when the the Ark of the Covenant is revealed and the discovery is announced and the whole world knows, that it will be a confirmation that the physical representation of God's covenant with Israel still exists. It's always existed. It's still there. Everyone's going to be able to see it with their own eyes. That yes, the Ark of the Covenant is real. It exists. The covenant has been confirmed, and that will be a threshold. That will be a sign to us that we have entered a very important time in Bible history and prophetic history.